We all know how easy it is to be completely mesmerized by a new crush. And when you're falling for someone, it can seem like nothing else really matters. But the sad truth is that some crushes can be unhealthy, and that's something everyone needs to watch out for. Can you think of a time when you had an unhealthy crush? You might even be in the midst of an unhealthy crush right now, without actually realizing it. But have no fear, because we're about to tell you all about which crushes we think can be potentially unhealthy, and what to look out for. 1. Crushing on someone who's already in a relationship. Let's get the obvious stuff out of the way first. Yes, crushing on someone who's in a relationship is probably not the most healthy thing for you, psychologically speaking. We know that this is sometimes hard to control, but wanting something that you can't have could potentially lead to some serious inner turmoil. It's cool to hang back and wait for an opening, but if you can't control your feelings, it could destroy your friendships and totally mess with your head. 2. Crushing on someone who's way too old or young for you. We know that age is just a number, but there's definitely a limit to that. Crushing on someone who's way too old or young for you could very well be an unhealthy thing. Hell, it might not even be legal. While these relationships can sometimes work out, they definitely don't stand the best chance of success. Again, this is often a case of desiring something you can't have, and that can lead to some seriously unhealthy patterns. It's even more worrisome if you find yourself crushing on older people who are married, or if you are an older person crushing on someone who's still essentially a child. There are tons of situations where older and younger people can make it work, but there's also a lot of potential for unhealthy behavior. 3. When a crush becomes an obsession. While it's true that devotion and obsession can sometimes be romantic, it's easy to cross the line into some very weird territory. If you find yourself following your crush around, creeping on their social media profiles, and generally just worshiping them, then you've probably developed some pretty unhealthy thought patterns. Not only is this unhealthy, but it also diminishes your chances of actually getting with your crush. It's better to just relax, take it easy, and try not to obsess too hard. 4. When you develop a crush on someone who treats you poorly. Some of our viewers might disagree with some of these points, but everyone will understand that this is unhealthy. And the sad part is, it happens way too often. Crushing on someone who treats you poorly is pretty unhealthy, and it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. If you find yourself getting attracted to someone who is bullying you or putting you down, maybe take a step back. This could be due to codependency or some sort of psychological trauma you need to work through with a professional. There is no reason why you should be attracted to someone who is abusive and mean. Sure, bad boys can be attractive, but someone who treats you badly will never make a good partner. 6. Crushing on an ex. While it's obviously not something that we can control, it's generally not a positive thing in our lives. In the simplest terms possible, crushing on an ex means that you can't move on. Sure, there might be a chance of getting back together, and it might be a great relationship when you do that. But what if your ex has moved on and you didn't? What if you just find yourself wishing that you could get back together, even when you know that it's not possible? This goes back to the problem of desiring things you can't have. An ex can be that forbidden fruit which torments you day and night. In the end, it's better to just let go. While it's sometimes hard to do this, being completely unable to is an unhealthy sign. 6. Crushing on someone in a long-distance relationship when you're not used to it. Let's be clear, long-distance relationships can work. We're not saying crushing on someone who lives far away is always unhealthy, but it definitely has the potential to be. It can be pretty stressful thinking about what that person is up to and whether or not they're getting romantic with other people. In fact, it can be pretty close to torture. If you're used to long-distance relationships, you might be able to keep that crush alive and wait for your moment. But if not, it could spiral into some pretty unhealthy thoughts and behaviors. 7. Crushing on someone when you're already in a relationship. Crushing on when you're already in a relationship can be an uncontrollable thing, and it's definitely a case of the grass always being greener on the other side. We know love just happens. It's not like we can control who we fall for or whether or not it happens when we're already in a relationship. But if you find yourself crushing on people while you're already tied down, it might just be a sign that you're not able to commit to a long-term partnership, and you have problems being loyal. This is potentially a cause for alarm, especially if you're leading your partner on while not really interested in them. All this can be is pretty unhealthy. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to see more content from Psych2Go. If you found out that your crush is actually healthy, we hope that it works out for you. Thanks so much for watching!